Hola, ¿cómo estás? Welcome to the Latino Slant pre-show of pre-shows, where a pre-show gets to be a pre-show. What I'm going to do is two things: read this announcement and then play some music while we get people on over here and while you guys make yourself comfortable. Make sure you say hello. We do have a poll going on. My name is Polly. This is the Latino Slant. And boy, do we're going to go over some good stuff. Okay, number one. Grammy nominated singer songwriter Gustavo Galindo will be here March 9th in 2 weeks. So that is the first thing I'm going to do. Now, the second thing is we're going to play some Gustavo for you right now. And I will come back and we will hit the countdown and get into the show. But this is a single of his from about 10 years ago called Te Perdí by Gustavo Galindo. Enjoy. Like I said, he is going to be here in 2 weeks performing live for you guys March 9th. We're very, very excited to have him here. I think he's going to do about a couple of, at least 2 or 3 songs for us. And just want to give you a little taste. There's also a video on the channel. And we're so happy you guys here. But now it is time for our live show. Here we go. Let's count it down.
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. The Slant?
Yeah, but isn't this the unplugged version? I don't know. I think it's the unplugged version.
All right, Power, let's go.
That's better. Gotta go.
Hey, welcome to the Latino Slant. My name is Polly. It is a Wednesday evening, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, and I hope everyone is doing well. It's so great to be back here on our Wednesday evenings. For the last 7 weeks, we've did something where we, week by week, we analyze from a film story maker's perspective and a fan's perspective the latest Star Wars series with Cameron Pasha and with um, filmmaker Tom Conklin. What an experience that was! That we will be doing that again in a few months. But I'm so happy you guys are here. Before I begin, let's say hello to some people that are the early birds, the new, the early, the ones that just came in. Deleted scenes. Hey man, what's going on? The Mad Pariah. Looking at the video makes me feel like a child again. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a heavy video. It's a good video. That's a good video. Gustavo is quite something. Darth Plato. And Marzipan Pig. I love it. I love it. Ephraim Guzman. Hello, my friend. What's going on? Lombardi, 1969. Hola, ¿qué tal? And Bonzo Kilborn. Thanks for your support, my friend. So, wow, what a time to be a fan of anything that has to do with the imagination. And I have been thoroughly frustrated, confused, angry, with no hope at some of the things that I've been seeing. But that's okay because it has allowed me to reflect, surmise, and move on. What I'm talking about is, has Hollywood lost its imagination? I did several polls Twitter and on our channel, and then now with you guys are voting. And before I get into those polls, I want to do a couple things. I want to first define what the imagination, what's the Merriam-Webster definition of imagination. Then I want to give you a little personal, you know, testimony, if you will. Definition number one: the act or power of forming a mental image of something not present to the senses or never before wholly perceived in reality. Okay, that's our mental outlook on something that is not present. I can't see it right here, but I can make it up, right? Okay, all right. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Definition number two: creative ability, resourcefulness. Use your imagination to get us out of here. I like that. You put it up, put it up on that person. It's up to you and your imagination. The thinking or active mind, interests, stories that fired the imagination. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I get it. Are you guys with me? I hope so. We're defining imagination, and this is through Webster. So I'm with it. I'm with it so far. I got one more for you. 3, a creation of the mind, and there it is. That's all you need to get you through life. Is the imagination is what you create in your mind, an idealized or poetic creation, fanciful or empty assumption. Well, my friends, that is quite the definition there, and I wanted to go over that before we talk and dive into these news items of the day, of our times, because it seems that the IPs that brought us together, the IPs that fired our active imagination, what literally have brought us together, we people of different races and different backgrounds were brought together by Star Wars. We of different creeds and colors were brought together by Superman. We of different languages, seemingly different purposes, are brought together by Tolkien. And that is what is at the heart of, just the theme of today's show. So let's see what you guys have to say. And we have an author here, Nicholas Velardes. We're going to get to this gentleman's blog post, which is going to go on later with what we're talking about. But he's a sci-fi writer. He's a Chicano, and I'm very, very, very curious about some of the things that he says. So I'm really excited. 8 p.m. Hey, what's going on? Hello, hello. James Esparza, noise opening. Did I tell you I also made countdowns? James is helping me out with graphics. Michael Gonzalez, man, what's up, brother? I haven't seen you in a while. It's great to see you. Imagination is life. No imagination is dying. Indeed. I like that. Tolkien is 3. Yeah, man. It's lost its imagination. Hollywood, long time ago. Everything lately seems a retread or melange of something else previously successful. Orale. Really good, guys. Really good, guys. Imagination. As you know of this channel, supporters of this channel, members, subscribers, and people just hanging out, you know that this is the Latino Slant. And I made this purposeful to share my love and passion of the Latino culture. More specifically for me, you guys know that I'm a Chicano. And even though Chicanos are coming really a vast array of not only looks and walks of life and different parts of the states, there's two things that define us ultimately, right? One, Chicanos are born in the US. Okay, if we were born in Mexico, we'd be Mexicanos, and then we maybe would take on American features. But that's That is completely different. We're born and raised in the United States. That's for me number one. Number two, we're of Mexican descent. It's a different upbringing if you are from a different country that happens to be from the Latino from Latin America. There's a connection to this land as far as our native past and just our destiny as Americans. There's an old corrido called Mexico Americano, and in the words it says, for my mom, I'm Mexican. For my dad, I'm American. No, excuse me. For my mom, I'm Mexican. For my destiny, I'm American. So I didn't know any of this stuff of what I just told you. I had no clue. I was Chicano or Mexican growing up in the north side of Santa Monica. I was a kid, right? I was Rocky Balboa. I was Clark Kent. I was Daniel De La Russo. I was all those things that we had said about earlier. That active imagination that I had. I had the figures that I had growing up, from Shogun Warriors to my Star Wars figures to my little record collection. That was Polly. My imagination was on fire. As I got older, in junior high and high school, I wanted to get into acting. I wanted to be an actor, and I was like, just with the energy and enthusiasm in my imagination, I could play anything. I could be anybody. Now, in high school, when I wanted to be anybody and tried out and worked hard, and wanted to be the lead actor in this role, that's where I was first told I could not do it because of my skin color. Those are the mid to late 80s. That's just how it was. I remember my theater teacher saying, if I had 10 of you, I would do Zoot Suit. I'm like, well, you have one Polly. Let me be Hamlet. I could do it. Put me in, coach. Now, as I went along, my imagination started getting more trapped because I was in this box. Like, oh, you're saying that I can't, so what can I do? And that's when I first started seeing myself in television and film. And they talk about that thing that's so annoying nowadays, being seen. We just want to be seen. If we're seen, we're saved. I know. Bear with me. Bear with me. The the very few times that I saw someone who even looked remotely like me was when I was really little, was Freddie Prinze, Chico and the Man. And I thought that guy was so cool. It was John Travolta, Vinnie Barbarino. I was like, am I Italian? I thought it was Danny De La Russo because Ralph Macchio had a tint of brown on him. I was like, no, maybe, please. He's cool. He's dating Elizabeth Shue in that movie. Imagination. For years, I was quoting Yoda after Empire Strikes Back because I was 9 years old, and I was quoting it for years. As I got older, I was quoting La Bamba lines. As I got older, I was amazed by Schwarzenegger's career. This guy with a funky accent and a one line line reading. This how successful he gotten. That is our imagination as Americans that we can all connect to. Now, being seen, I'm just being honest with you. It's being seen now looks nothing like back in the day when I was growing up. Being seen back in the day was like, okay, there's Eddie Olmos and he's playing a cool character, but then like the other 10 Latino actors are getting shot up by drug dealers. Imagination. I never let that stop me. I never let someone else, what they told me, what I can or cannot do, stop me. And you should that should be the same for you guys, because we're talking about our imaginations are endless. Endless. Now, Hollywood has lost its way. We know that. For me to see people who are Latino and doing their thing on stage and on screen and film, it's bittersweet, because most of the time I'm not happy with the portrayals. And I've told you this. It's not about representation for me anymore. It's about presentation. For me, representation does not matter. We're there. How are we presented? Are we telling our own stories? Or are we in the writing room? We've talked about this before ad infinitum. And you know how much love and compassion I have for you guys, and you guys have for the Latino slant, and I really appreciate you all. But that's what we're here for, the Latino slant, to enlighten and entertain, never to educate, never to dictate. And now, unfortunately, there is a lot of Hollywood people doing that with our beloved IPs. That educating is first and foremost. And imagination, story, no. So it's depressing. It's depressing. I almost don't want to get into this news with you guys, because we've been going through this for the last few days. I cannot tell you how amazing I still think, the relationship of Frodo Baggins and Samwise Gamgee is. That book rocked me when I was a kid. I didn't have to do anything about me being a Chicano, but it certainly propelled me. It connected me to you guys as well. So, all right. I hope everyone's doing well. We've got 20 people live in the chat. It's really cool that you guys are here. We are going to let's see where we're at with the with the uh, with the live poll. The live poll has 27 votes. 81% says yes, Hollywood has lost its imagination. 19% says no, amigo, they haven't. Interesting. Now, I'm going to go to, let's add this to the stream. This was a poll I did on my Twitter, and hopefully you're following me. 84 votes. Has this generation lost its imagination? And I kind of did it differently, right? Has this generation lost its imagination? That's a lot different than has Hollywood, but hear me out. 86.9% yes, Polly. 13% no, amigo. Shanatsky said Hollywood and comics, yes. Just Reggie said afraid to take chances on non-IP and reboots. 32 flavors. I'm going to lean on no. Obviously, Hollywood for the most part has, but I believe they're ignoring a wave of talent we are unaware of. Maybe in a dream world, though, but that's what my gut tells me. Hey, maybe that talent that we're unaware of, such as some of the artists that I've brought you to here, filmmakers, Kenneth Castillo, Alejandro Montoya Marin, authors, such as a couple that are in the chat, and Ruben Delgado, that we did a review on a few months ago with the book Throne. I mean, I don't just talk about it, I try to bring it to you guys. So I really appreciate these comments. The Seaman, judging by the younger writers working in Hollywood, yes, they scavenge from existing IPs instead of creating new ones. Might be creative writers that can make a new thing, but they sure aren't the ones getting the jobs at the moment. Maria with T and Telly, I don't think we have. Those with real vision, talent, and imagination don't always get as lucky to be in the spotlight. It's there. We just have to support them more. Independent creators, absolutely. Jim Henry said, I think the imagination is being channeled into different places. Tommy of the Guinea Pig Collective. When did they ever have? Gonzalo, I needed the imagine what option. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. But look at there he is. That's you, buddy. ¿Cómo estás? Oh man. Oh man. Um, I'm gonna go. I want to go to the other poll that we did on our channel. But before that, we have a lot of people that are here, and let's make sure we give them proper I know we had I had a super chat. Okay, let me see. Looking forward. Yes. Hey, I'm Chicano too. Cool. Orale. We're all Chicano here, by the way. Everyone that is in this chat, it's also a state of mind. You're all honorary Chicanos in my book, my boy Cloudering Times. Have you considered a Truman Show format? Explain yourself. Stump Brat, hey, it's been a while. Fist bump, Samo. Tim's Talk, my boy Aiken. Eldridge. Love you, bro. Michael Gonzalez says, with the strictest context of the definitions provided, Hollywood may still have imagination. I would, however, twist the definition to ones used in science for PhD candidates in the next sentence. Your work does not advance the field and is, in fact, derivative. Ooh, I like that. My boy Salty Texas C for $1.99. Hail, tag, you're it. No, you have to become a member. None of this $1.99. Oh, thank you so much, man. And listen, you don't have to do any of that, dude. You know, Salty, man. Salty, this is for you. Arr. Mm.
Noise.
Arr. Mm.
Hey, do a mariachi one. Oh my god.
Thank you so much, Salty Texas C. Mad Pariah, talent rises no matter the race. Having people recognize that talent is the issue. Hollywood only sees what it wants, and what it wants is everyone to be in their boxes. They want to keep control of power, control of thought, control of the imagination. And I say no. Louis Sparrow, hi. You're Muslim uncle. Assalamu alaikum, my brother. Assalamu alaikum. Darskipio, the studios are being lazy, too cautious with the new films. I mean, that's a nice way of saying it. Muslim Uncle, I played some amazing Age of Empire games when you were playing different native tribes and heroes from Mexico down to South America. Why don't we see those stories? Well, those stories are out there in Chicano literature, in Latin American literature, and also independent Latino comic books. They do exist, and there's a gentleman that we're going to bring up his blog in a little while, and he's also in the chat. Hopefully he's still hanging out. And we're going to talk about this sci-fi anthology that they got. Okay, Lord of the Rings is king of the imagination. Maybe that's why hacks want to besmirch it. Yeah. Hail everybody from the road. Assalamu alaikum. Cuidado. Be careful. Okay. Good to see you. Aileen. Hello, Aileen. Jacob Ironside. Hollywood is creatively bankrupt. Yes. That's the sound I make when I'm downtown with my wife. Oh yeah. Whoa. All right. Let's bring up this other poll that I put up. Same question. Has this generation lost its imagination? 88 votes, 83% yes, Polly, 17 no, amigo. Dragon Buddy, I think there's a lot of imagination out there, but studios and execs keep thinking that rebooting classics is the way to keep us entertained. We want the new Tolkien Lewis Adams to emerge with original visions. 70s rock. I mean, there's that's probably the sentiment that most of us have, that we want to be very supportive of new IPs. Just make them good and and support them. That 70s rock fan who's a member of the channel. The qualifier is probably that those of this generation are selected by the mainstream to produce content, have no imagination, but that the independent scene still got plenty of it. That's it right there. And that is the connecting theme that I have. Has this generation lost it, and has Hollywood? And both from our little sample, you're saying yes, because this generation of writers, I believe, are very, very, let's just say, gullible. And I think that they're easily controlled by Hollywood, and very swayed by their access to status and to influence and power. And I've been there, and none of that shit's real. None of that shit you can take away from me. Here's what you can take away: we're all gonna leave this world, right? You can't take any of that with you. All you can take away is your legacy and your spirit, man. Okay, but these are pretty good. These are pretty good answers. Let's see what else we got here. Punk Waddle says, not the generation as a whole. I would say that people being pushed into the spotlight may not always be the most creative or inspired examples of any generation. Oh, that's a good point. Daryl the Derelict, who's a member of the channel. I say no. Look at the fan films. There's a lot of them that are better than the studios. Great point. It's just the studios have no imagination. Well, they don't have any guts either. They don't have any guts. I'm sure that there's been great creative pitches and projects. They just don't have the guts to pull the trigger. Bonzo might have to look a little harder to find it, but imagination will always be there. I do not disagree with that. Soul Assassin. No, not technically. There's still some people making original stuff. More MAGA never had it in the first place. We need to talk more MAGA. We need to talk. Thank you guys for all being here. Let me see. I'm still here. All right. The Mad Pariah. Star Wars is a bit of Flash Gordon and a Buck Rogers. Lord of the Rings is a bit of Beowulf. Yeah. And they took from those different let's say creations, and made something original and fresh for that generation that came out, right? Because Beowulf was what, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. So when Lord of the Rings came out, it was that generation's classic stories. Amazing, which and they still hold true. Okay, all right, let's get to this first story, shall we? Because the first one is it's a doozy. It's a doozy, guys. The history of fantasy is racialized. Lord of the Rings series sparks debate over race. Por Dios, Polly, por Dios. Hey, listen. Y'all been warned. Here we go. The introduction of characters of color into Tolkien's fantasy world has some fans complaining, but others point out it's not less authentic to cast Black actors. As the new Lord of the Rings series gears up for its September launch in Amazon, the company finds itself navigating treacherous, if familiar waters, and has already triggered a fierce debate over race by introducing characters of color into J.R.R. Tolkien's fantasy world. This was Sunday from The Guardian, and that line right there, introducing characters of color into J.R.R. Tolkien's fantasy world. There should be no characters of color because the characters already come from different backgrounds. So that in itself is just such a weird sentence. Oof. Okay. And we're talking Lord of the Rings here. We're talking his world, Tolkien's world, which is the different races are very defined. Human race, the elves, the orcs, the dwarfs, and then people from the south, all that stuff. The tech giant has spent a dragon's dungeon of gold on adapting the beloved story, famous for its cultish fans, some of whom are deeply enmeshed in the right-wing culture war industry. Didn't take long. It didn't take long. It's homeboy went first sentence, second paragraph, yo. Okay, one, Tolkien fans, it's not a cult. It's a global fandom. A cult is your fans of you hold fandom conferences for what's that god just some obscure sci-fi or fantasy book or TV show that only lasted a day, right? That's a cult, right? We're talking about Tolkien, we're talking about Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. It's global. Last time I checked, I am not right-wing. Last time I checked, I'm center and independent. But even if I was right-wing, what the heck does it have to do with Lord of the Rings? Good God, man. Yet is fully aware as final product has to reach a broad and modern audience to justify its eye-opening expenditure. All it's got to do is be Lord of the Rings. You don't got to do anything different. Why do you think those movies were so? I mean, those movies were only 20 and 10 years apart, man. They're still bringing in new fans, those films. Co-produced by New Line Cinema, Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, isn't part of Jackson's phenomenally successful Lord of the Rings and the Hobbits movies, but it is intended to capitalize on their success. Good luck. The streaming series set in the world of Tolkien's high fantasy novels with characters and battles drawn from the interior history and mythology laid forth in the book's extensive appendices. Jackson himself is not involved, but the sets and costumes would be right at home in his movies. A ripoff, a sad ripoff. What do you guys think? Let me start reading this for a second. Chud has a cult following. Thank you. Michael Gonzalez has a question. Will they tell the tale of the genocide of dark-skinned people at the end of the Second Age, or are they cursed and become orcs? Man. Okay, I know what you're saying, because you're saying in the Third Age, there are no, in as far as the age of what we've seen and read and know, there are no dwarves or whatever people that are, or where the actors are people of color or whatever. How do they disappear? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're asking me? Or are they cursed and become orcs? Orcs were elves, were they not? And then they were tortured. Help me out here. Correct. Okay, good. Yeah, man. I mean, in the Third Age, they are hibernating. Oh my God. Ay Dios. The races are elf, dwarf, and man. else you guys are guessing here? These are fantastic. I appreciate everyone's opinions here. I really do. I really do. Keep it passionate, keep it civil, and keep it coming. Tim Stock, I really like the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but the Hobbit films were a big step down. For me, let me tell you, the Hobbit book is amazing. And the movie, I would say the first film, the first part of the first film, caught that essence. After that, he started losing the plot. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on, shall we? The new series will feature the Saint Maud star, Marfid Clark, as a younger version of Kate Blanchett's Elvish queen, Galadriel. Benjamin Walker as a heroic Elven king, Gil-galad, and Maxim Badri as human king to be Isildur, among many others. It cost $465 million to make the first season, making it the most expensive television show in history. Over its projected 5 seasons, that budget will almost certainly exceed $1 billion. Jesus. It is the crown jewel in Amazon's increasing investment in licensing and producing movies and TV series, which went up from $11 billion to $13 billion last year, according to the company's annual report. I'm going to jump. The Lord of the Rings appendices are more of a show Bible, the kind of notes you'd give to teleplay writers, than narrative of their own. So producers have woven their own stories of romance, palace intrigue into the book's timelines, fairy tales, and genealogical footnotes. So they took the show, then what you're saying is they took the show Bible and threw it out the window. Say, we're going to do what we want. We're grown. Don't tell me what to do. I do what I want. Lord of the Rings appendice, I do what I want. No, it doesn't work like that. Writers will tell you a Bible for their books or for whatever they're working on is a constant source, a resource of more and more information that either they or their editor or their dramaturg or whoever they're working with continues to put in that show Bible. It is a Bible for a reason. The Bible's a bedrock. It's a bedrock, man. You get lost in your edits and your writing. Let me go back to this Bible. What was that note there on page 39? Yeah, that's it. And you're saying that they're going to just do what they want. Good luck. That has allowed them to cast people of color as some of the series' elves and dwarves, pleasing some of the book fans and angering others. Recently, Vanity Fair ran a spread of promotional photos for the show, including images of Sofia Nomveti as Dwarven Princess Disa and Ishmael Cruz Cordova as Elvish warrior Arendrir. My friends, I see, we talked about this, right? Am I excited when I see someone who has maybe the same background get into a place or to an IP or something that we thought we would never, imagination? Of course, I'm excited. I want to find out about that actor. Like, oh, okay, they got a cool story. It's kind of like mine. But that's got nothing to do with the finished product. If it's silly, then it's just, so in this case, Ishmael, who's from Puerto Rico, and God bless him, I just don't think he looks right in the role. And if that's my prejudice because I have a certain idea of how elves should look, maybe at least not have short hair, give the guy long hair. I don't know. But then they have a thing, well, they never had long hair. It's just like, well, but that's been already cinematically established. Ishmael is actually a very good-looking man. Elves are very good-looking people from what they had established in the films. So if he had long hair and it somehow looked cool in these photos, I really don't have a problem with it. That's got nothing to do with what I see in the final product. Now, I talked about this already. I am not a fan of how this woman looks as a dwarf princess. It's established. It is established. The dwarf men and women are they can't they are unrecon they're un they're both they're like one. You can't recognize one from the other. Why? Because they both have beards. They're hairy people. Ain't nothing wrong with that. On YouTube, the trailer for The Rings of Power has 67,000 comments as of this writing. Thousands of them are the same quote from Tolkien about the corrupting and uncreative nature of evil. Evil cannot create anything new. It can only spoil and destroy what good forces have invented and created. It reads in multiple languages. Others were more blunt. Imagine spending millions of dollars to promote your woke social justice warrior garbage of a film. It's a TV show. Way to tarnish a good franchise, read one. Amazon decided to destroy Tolkien's work because why do a good job when you can just be corrupt and force your political beliefs? Stated another. Non-fans rolled their eyes. South Park retroactively changed its Soul Black Kid character's name from Token to Tolkien, the kind of backhanded acknowledgement of its own mistakes that are a staple of the irreverent cartoon sense of humor. It's tempting to dismiss the complaining as the usual internet nerd rage. Hey, who you calling scruffy looking? Similar disputes played out when actors of color started taking new major roles in Star Wars byproducts. What? Similar disputes played out when actors of color started taking new major roles in Star Wars products. Wrong, sir. Wrong. Wrong. We had no problems with the actors. We love Oscar Isaac. I really like John Boyega, but what they gave these actors was crap. Now, you want to talk about imagination. You want to talk about people of color and casting people of color who are, maybe, they're just people of color. They're in Star Wars land, right? They're Cameron Poe and Finn. You want to talk about imagination. You made Cameron Poe kind of a doofus, non-listening, bad leader, ex-drug smuggler. You made Finn a janitor. He was a glorified janitor. Good on you. Good on you. Yeah. Groundbreaking. 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 Now what I really, what we all thought, we got the snow job. The fans got the snow job because you led us to believe that Finn was going to be a stormtrooper turned Jedi. Oh, we were really excited. We were really excited. So don't give me this malarkey here with Star Wars. I want to make sure I didn't miss anyone. I really appreciate Alfonso Magno for subscribing. Why can't we just let writers write their stories? Elves with big afros. I mean, or dreads. It doesn't have to be afros, man. Hi, Sander. Doesn't have to be afro. Like long dread, long hair. It just didn't make sense. But that's just me. Am I wrong? Am I a right-wing racist? Coffee and Corbin, hola, hola. Throwing out the show Bible was like the guy in Blair Witch Project throwing the map down the river. Oh, that's dope. Damn, I love you guys. Damn, I love you guys. Did I say that? Even Sander I love. And Sander gives me a hard time. I love Finn. I love Finn. I just, at the end of the day, it was an empty promise, man. Okay, let's go on. We're not here for that. Woo. But the conflict was also about the rise of two kinds of media empire. Not just one. There's Amazon, the crown jewel in the vast business empire. Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world, and there's YouTube. A place for every dork who likes to complain about pop culture and whose darker corners are a frequent haunt of racism and bigotry. What the fuck are you talking about, man? I'm gonna read that again. There's two places, right? What they're saying. Two different types of media. The rise of media empire. Amazon and YouTube, a place where every dork who likes to complain about pop culture and whose darker corners are a frequent haunt of racism and bigotry. Let's flip that. Amazon, Hollywood, whose dark corners are a frequent haunt of racism and bigotry. Let's change the word darker, right? Since we're all in this, color and skin, all that bullshit. A lighter, whose lighter corners are a frequent haunt of racism and bigotry. I've made it very clear. I think Hollywood is still practicing their legacy of ignorance and racism to this very day. And it's in light. It's just, it has a nice gleam to it. It has a nice gleam to it. It has a nice prettiness to it. Come on, man. Come on. Polly's so racist. I mean, yeah. Por favor. Por favor. Aiken, I see this as Mexican Iron Man making me a taco, then hitting me, then handing me a peanut butter and banana sandwich with rice crackers. I mean, that's not bad, but you want a taco. What kind of taco you like? Pastor? I had a pastor burrito yesterday. Oh my god. Yeah. Deleted scenes. Take this cast and put them in a fantasy series that's not called Lord of the Rings, and I would be willing to give it a chance. It's a shame they're being tokenized. It's the constant gaslighting that pushes me away. I mean, what's not Lord of the Rings? Right? Just by name. We should start a group, Latinos for Lord of the Rings, and speak up against their choice word lols. Well, aren't we doing that already? Aren't we doing that already? Aren't we uniting? I told you we're all honorary Chicanos in this chat. Everyone here, I christened the Slantinos. It's Courtney, who's a wonderful member of this chat. My member of the channel, mi general. Hi, I can't stay, but I'm hitting the like, and I want to say hello and send my love. My love, my love. I'm sending you my love. Thank you, girl. All right. The word racism has lost its meaning because of morons who write articles like this. They're putting good Latinos on the rings. No, what did we say earlier? Lord of the Bocosos. You guys are awesome. You guys are on fire. Okay, let's keep reading. My lord. Okay. One group is populated by people who can afford to buy the rights to Lord of the Rings. The other is populated by people for whom the Lord of the Rings is the second best thing to the Bible. But for both, an incredible amount of money and influence is at stake. And Amazon is probably worried that its grand project could be vulnerable to attacks by aggrieved online superfans. Superfans! Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. Superfan to the rescue. Superfan to the rescue. Why, hello there. My name is Polly the Latino Slant, and I'm I'm a super fan. Yeah, how you doing, everybody? My name is Superfan Slant. I'm a Slantino superfan, and I'm here because I'm aggrieved. Bum 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 bum. Superfan to the rescue. When they say superfans, they mean purists, right? Well, they've retaken that word superfan because remember, isn't there? Don't they have their own fellowship of influencers in every country now that's a super fan, and you realize they don't know super squat. Now it sounds very Disney. Hey, I'm also here to entertain you guys. All right, cool, come on, you guys are cracking me up. Is it Friday karaoke already? Spam, somebody spammity spam. That was amazing, Polly. Yeah. Por Dios, man. I can't with this article. I'm going to try to get through it. I'm going to try to finish. Let me finish. Duh. Okay. YouTubers complaining about fan mistreatment have hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of subscribers. Inevitably, these fans are devoted to movies, TV shows, comics from their childhoods, and many are constantly on the watch for a new version of what might expand the role of women. Character. What? Wait, what? First of all, this little sentence is way too long. Inevitably, these fans are devoted to movies, TV shows, and comics from their childhoods. And many are constantly on the watch for a new version that might expand the role of women, add characters of color, or include characters who aren't straight. Ay vey. When they're riled up, they can coordinate broad campaigns of harassment, even threats of violence across social media and skew perceptions of public opinion. Even if this is true, broad campaigns, threats of violence on social media, you're on social media. And besides, if the only violence that they're causing is to their keyboard saying how utterly upset they are about a certain IP. I don't know, man. It's sort of that thing that often meets with the approval of the broader right-wing media, which will sometimes fan the flames of useful controversy. Talented social media trolls have gone on to jobs on cable television. Well, you, sir, have gone on to a job here for this publication. So, I can't. In human terms, being the target of right-wing hate campaigns can be draining and depressing. In business terms, it can really mess. Okay, there's a period there in business terms. How I can't. Okay, this guy can't even do a. You can't get your. Oh, super fan to the rescue. Bum, 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 bum. Hi, I'm Slantino. And I'm a hateful right winger. Hi, my name is Polly, and I am a Latino slant, sometimes Latinx slant, and I am a hateful wokoso. I couldn't help it, guys. I love you, man. I love you. Except for this writer. It can really mess with the marketing budget, and that kind of power is attracted to permanently aggrieved pop culture devotees. Oh, God. This thing is too long, guys. Oof. And I read this a few days ago, and this is like we gotta talk about it. We gotta talk. I need a break. I need a break. I need a break. Polly's feeling different today. What's up, man? You coming in? You gonna come say hello? Was that Cornholio, Polly? Cornholio. Latinx to the rescue. Polly, team take a poll to see who wants women with beards in the Ring of Power. No beards for me, as I may lose my lunch if I see one. Well, honestly, there was one in the extended cut of Two Towers, I believe. Didn't we see one? Correct me if I'm wrong. It's the characters, man. They're dwarfs. They're dwarfs, guys. Stop reading it. I mean, it's Let me go to the end. How about that? Is that the Den of Geek? No. This is The Guardian. I actually was talking to Tom about this. I was like, did you guys? And they did a fantastic video. This is the Guardian, and the history of fantasy is racialized. Lord of the Rings series sparks debate over race. I don't think there's any debate over it. I just think it's a completely misguided casting. Completely misguided. Okay, well let me jump. The writer interviews Ebony Thomas, author of The Dark Fantastic, an associate professor at University of Michigan. And I'll read a couple paragraphs. The history of fantasy is racialized, she says. That's where this guy got the clever, right? Clever. People are used to seeing fantasies and fairy tales as all white, particularly in faux medieval or magical medieval settings, Thomas explains. We're taking them out of the dream space. We're taking them out of how they imagine it could be. And so it feels off to them. So that's why they're saying, who are these people? That's not what Tolkien intended. It's not accurate. Of course, if you're willing to go back to poems and legends that inspire Tolkien, you'll definitely find characters who are not white. This is what he wrote. He can write whatever he wants. You can write whatever you want. And there's more American fascists, swastika. I mean, okay, let's go to the end of this. I don't think these books are fascist, wrote the great British fantasist Michael Moorcock in 1978, but they certainly don't argue with the 18th century enlightened Toryism in which the English comfort themselves so frequently in these upsetting times. Moorcock thought Tolkien owed a lot to Milne. He called the Rings books epic poo. American conservatives, too, especially evangelical Christians who venerate Tolkien and C.S. Lewis, love Tolkien's preoccupation with the simple life and disdain for anything urban or industrial. I'm an American. I'm pretty liberal. I'm pretty center. And I'm a born-again Christian. I don't get the connection, but listen, I know C.S. Lewis and Tolkien were friends and they were Christians. God bless them. But we're talking about elves and people going to war and fighting over stuff and rings and golems. I mean, these are all just theatrical devices for good and evil. It's wonderful shit. What's wrong with you? So it is fundamentally disrespectful to do what Amazon has done by making a modern adaptation of such a traditional work on a non-traditional with a non-traditional cast. No, but you're not. It's not just about non-traditional casting. Non-traditional casting is completely different than what you guys are doing in Hollywood. Non-traditional casting has been going on for decades and decades in theater. This is something different. Thomas, who loves Tolkien, doesn't think so. She points out that the notoriously restrictive Tolkien estate doesn't think so either. In this case, Tolkien's official interpreters are far less concerned with uniform pigmentation among the cast than they are with making sure that the new show doesn't touch potentially lucrative events of the Silmarillion, posthumous novel the estate would surely like to see sold to a big movie studio for gobs of cash. The question, we're almost done here, guys. Thomas says, is not merely of accuracy, but of authenticity. And given that the race is an arbitrary construct anyways, it's not somehow, whoa, what happened there? Less authentic to cast black actors than it is to cast white actors. My ancestors have been here, speaking English for 10 generations, he says. It's not the case that some strange people who are not from Anglo-American culture are suddenly demanding representation. We've been here for centuries. We have been existing. Okay, thoughts? Cigars, cigarettes, cigarettes. Hi, my name is Tolkai. Yeah, from Slantino Mantino Nation. Let me see if Tom responded to me. Man, oh, it's for you to be on the show. He says, "What for?" All right. Well, you have the link. Okay. Darth Plato. Tolkien is considered persona non grata by postmodernists. James Esparza, once again, they're doing everything to make people not want to watch this. It wasn't James Keck. I'm really like, channeling like all my, I'm using my imagination. I'm imagination connoisseur, Robert Meyer Burnett and the Burnett Network. The Mad Pariah. Is Amazon going to put the same effort into this as Peter Jackson? Will they recruit the same level of diverse talent to put on the screen? I doubt it. Yeah, we're in a different time. I mean, 20 years ago. Gosh, it's amazing. And for 10 Canadian dollars, thank you, Mr. Chickle Trunk. They could have done a more interesting thing and adapted African mythos. Middle Eastern stories, etc., excite and delight Western audiences with having zero Caucasian Latinos, and we'd love it. I mean, you guys would know more than you guys know more than Hollywood does. Take this stupid story off. To me, you guys are on the cutting edge. Not only of past IPs, but of the future. What's coming out? Independent creators. So yeah, let me give you one example of a hit show that used Mesoamerican, Aztec, Inca, all that stuff. Maya and the Three. It's an 8 episodic limited series on Netflix, and it is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. It is basically what you just said, Mr. Tickle Trunk. What you just said. Hollywood, what's his name? Jorge Gutierrez, the creator. He also did the Book of Life. Hollywood just needs to invest their money into creators such as Jorge, such as people that we bring on the show. And just keep creating, and just keep that, right? And if you're going to do non-traditional casting, then just do it as if. You don't have to make these grand sweeping, statements. Let the work show. It's all about the work, guys. It's all about the work. Okay. Thank you so much for that, and forgive my sleep grammar. Oh, you didn't have to do that, Mr. Tickle Trunk. It's good to see you too, man. Thank you. Oh God, he's channeling Robert. I love R&B, man. Polly's channeling dead actors. Yeah, see? Yeah, see? So what we're gonna do, see? We're gonna get Lord of the Rings, see? Yeah. Put a Latino there. Yeah. In fact, we'll get a Latino. Yeah. Yeah, see? And we'll give him a bow and arrow. I don't know where I'm going with this, guys. This says the Oscars or Emmys are both train wrecks now. The Emmys don't even put shows like Arcane in consideration. We're going to talk about that in a minute. That's our next story or next thing, as far as award seasons. God, so many great activity here in the chat. All right, tickled. You're hired as policy. Edward G. Robinson, yeah. Hey, I'm having fun. And I thank you guys for all your super chats and your love. Let's hear the old man shout it out. All right. Beautiful. My buddy Tom is here. Let's hear the old man shout it out.
Hi. Oh, I gotta stop my thing in the background. That's how people sound when you do that. Just so you know.
It's funny, right? You're always on the other edge of that edge.
I know. I finally got to have some fun with it.
You finally got to. How you doing?
Yes,
bro?
I did that 100% on purpose. How you guys doing? Yes.
Doing good, man. What's going on?
I just woke up. This afternoon, my body's like, fuck you, and laid me down and wouldn't let me get back up.
Tom of Midnight's Edge, if you guys
Pardon
don't know.
my French.
No, it's okay. Is that French?
It's French. The word funk comes from French, I'm sure.
Chocolate bleu. They have a black man as a dwarf.
Yes, and
it's an
a skunk as the world's greatest lover.
Oh man! So yeah, have you been able to listen to anything? I've been
a little bit. I heard some of the Lord of the Rings bit and a few things you were talking about there. Yeah, like the whole they have completely lost the narrative on this Lord of the Rings situation.
I mean, it's so easy to just to write about, like, you know, connected to the whole this thing of being a racist or right wing. And like, do you even know the complexity of Tolkien fans? I mean, look at me and you.
Well, not only that, they never take into consideration, like, first of all, even if let's just say for a big if, you know, Tolkien happened to be a Republican. So fucking what? What a Republican meant then means so much different than now. And not only that, there's this consistent bullshit with having anything conservative mean alt-right. So that's why we need to just continue to go, okay, if everything on the right is alt-right, well, then everything on the left is alt-right, left. And that's kind of where we've gotten in this point. And what else can we do? It's stupid, but we got to end it somehow. And this is not the way. This is just going to continue this bullshit even further, but hopefully Amazon falls flat on their face with this stupidity.
Well, I think I think the more that people like me and you know, keep talking about this, and then, you know, they'll try to
Right.
put us in a box as much as they can, but you know, proof's in the pudding. I mean, we're from various backgrounds, and you know,
the
there's
bigger
things that
thing
we
is,
love. And let me flip this around. You and other film fans and IP fans, you know, even Gary of Nerdrotic says, you know, when I was little, I played Black Panther, I played Silver Surfer. You know, you are in love with La Bamba and Blood In Blood Out, and you're from Wisconsin.
Yeah, I fell in love with Narcos last week.
Yeah.
Now I want to be a kingpin.
Yeah. Now you, but do you know, it's yeah, it's really mind-boggling. The video you guys did today was great.
Well, to me, it's almost more racist to tell somebody you cannot identify with said character because they don't look like you. Like, it's this insult
Right.
to even anybody who isn't white,
Mhm.
isn't whatever that character may be. The fact that somebody says, "Oh, well, we've changed this now, we fixed this, so now you can identify with it," and it's like, well, I didn't need it fixed before. I identified just fine with Aragorn, or just fine with Frodo, or just fine with Bilbo, or whoever you want to pick in the story. And guess what? That individual could be a 6-foot black man and be like, I don't give a shit that Bilbo's only 3 foot whatever. I still relate to him. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong. Why would you take that away from somebody?
And we related to Gollum.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
I'm a lot like Gollum some days.
no,
Some
but
days I'm
really,
like
like,
Smeagol.
yeah, I mean, it's incredible. These characters, and like I said, I think now the level of production and ideas, they're coming up to where you're seeing original works like Maya and the Three happening. I would love for them to put more money and more time into just original IPs, man.
Yeah, I mean, it does help create more. And
Hmm.
honestly, I have no problem with all these revivals. No problem at all. But I think that there needs to be a little bit more effort put towards original content. Who cares who's making it, as
Hmm.
long as it's something new and original? I mean, we can't have more John Wicks unless we get somebody out there making these things, right? Because I've asked before, name, 3 or 4 franchises that are brand new in the last 5 years. Hell, I'll even give you 10 years. You probably can't, because John Wick is probably the only one you could probably really come up with. Maybe Kingsman otherwise, but that's still attached to a comic book. But that's my point. Anything that's not a
Hmm.
comic book, something that's an original franchise, John Wick is the only one I can think of offhand, maybe.
Well, in the genre, I mean,
Just in general,
well,
like
I mean, they did
franchises
they
that are
did say
brand
they're going to
new.
franchise Encanto,
Yeah,
and that's
okay.
organic. Like, that's organically happening. I think it's a wonderful thing, right?
And they have tried a few things, but my point is
Hmm.
stuff that actually stands out, right? Like,
Hmm.
TV shows aside, Encanto does count. You're right. So if we get a
Okay.
couple of those, I would say maybe Tangled, but that was even more than 5 years
But
ago.
see,
Same thing with
Encanto.
Frozen. I mean, Frozen. That's what I meant.
Let me
Not
go
Tangled.
back to Encanto. They wrote it off, right?
Yeah,
It was an organic social media movement of fans that got those songs in the zeitgeist of TikTok and all that stuff, and they're like, oh, money. Now it's a thing, but it wasn't a purpose. I would say Forever Purge. The Purge. It's a good
is that
franchise.
within the last 5 years though? Even
Um,
technically,
the
even
last
John Wick
10.
wouldn't even be in the 5. Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
even
last
John Wick, you'd have to go to 10.
but it's still like I love the last one was one of my favorites. I think it's still fresh franchise. Look, yeah, but you're right. You know that are original. I was gonna say Scream, but Scream is not original.
No, they're all revival
Hmm.
franchises or
Hmm.
stuff that's comic book oriented, stuff that's existed before.
Hmm.
Very rarely anything new have we gotten that spawns a franchise. I guess you could count The Conjuring if we're going 10 years,
Love Conjuring.
because that
And
spawned a whole
Maya and the
franchise. But
Three. I don't know if it's gonna come back, but it was a great original animated series. You just don't see these a lot. You know what I mean?
like Mr. Tickletrunk says, a sequel for nobody. I mean, there you go. There's an original franchise that could have been started. I know it did well enough, they might. But yeah, no, they're few and far between.
Hmm.
We don't get like when back in the day when Stallone or Schwarzenegger would launch a franchise, or Will Smith even.
Let's say hello to so I haven't what, I was thinking about sketch therapy the other day. I haven't
Hey,
seen
long
it
time no
in a
see.
long time, brother. Good to see you, man. I wish you health and happiness, man. Aiken with a $5 Australian dollar super sticker. Thank you, Aiken.
I bet he looks like that super sticker.
Mr. Chocotruck comes in with another 5 Canadian dollars. They're kind of needing to see yourself in entertainment comes from two places: narcissism and condescension. I'm I'm I get this, right? I get this. I think it's misplaced. But I do think for fresh stories, for different points of view, different perspectives on the human experience. It's good to have these stories of people from different backgrounds, right? But that's not this. This is, let me replace and let me put in. Aren't you guys happy? We're doing our Black thing. We're doing our Latino thing. Something like something to me again, like Encanto or Mayan 3. It's universal. Like everyone's enjoying it.
Or like you're just saying, come up with something original. You want to tell a Black story? Okay, here's something new. Tell me a story about a band of Black ninjas. How did that happen? Where did they come from? Where did they learn it from? There's a new franchise for you. We can call it Black Ninjas.
Yeah.
It's
Let's
not
go
that
to this-
hard to do, right?
It's not. And we're gonna go to this guy's blog in a minute. This gentleman's blog, this author, and but Chickle Trunk. When I say their kind, I don't mean you or I. Our kind is new IPs, new ideas, organic diversity that happens anyways. And absolutely, that would be badass. Black Ninjas is even a badass name. How is that? How has that not even been done?
Like a blaxploitation ninja movie, right? Like, come on.
I mean, just
They
that
were a
alone.
band of 4 badass black men who knew ninjutsu from the ancient art to the modern streets.
Nice.
Black ninjas.
I wanted to bring up this gentleman's blog. I was very impressed, and everything happens for a reason, Tom. I just discovered this gentleman's blog.
Because you're Chicano.
Yes.
Chicano, sorry.
Yes. No, it's okay. This gentleman's name is Nicholas Velardes. Because you're Chicano, some thoughts on futurism and the first all Chicano sci-fi anthology. This is fantastic. I mean, this is like could not be at a better time. Could not be a better time. Chicano science fiction anthology years ago. When I first really pondered my dual ethnic Chicano identity, I felt like a fraud. That I needed permission to be who I needed to be, not some kid whose brown father wanted to be assimilated, absorbed into the status quo of American whiteness. That's the real fade, when your brown dad wants you not to be brown. It's been decades, and I still sometimes feel like this sense of needing someone brown to say, yes, you can be Chicano. You don't have to listen to your dad anymore. Recently, while studying There by Tommy Orange, I found some powerful dialogue about identity, and I thought, man, I could repurpose that. This character tells her son, don't let anyone tell you what being an Indian means. You're Indian because you're Indian because you're Indian. And so I changed a few words around, started chanting to myself, don't let them tell you what being a Chicano means. You're Chicano because you're Chicano because you're Chicano. For a while now, I've been carrying these words with a chip on my shoulder, having been granted magical permission by a fictional character talking to her Indian son. We get power where we can, yeah? I think that any marginalized group, Chicano sci-fi writers need to gather, create their own text, which editors have done with El Porvenir, yeah, where you can read my story, Sky Seekers. It's these kinds of moments where we sing Si se puede. Yes, we can. We did, and we're doing, all of us. Okay, I want to stop right there. Really quickly, so what did you say? Okay, really quickly, guys. And thank you, Nick. I don't know if you're still here in the chat, but thanks for hanging out with us. I would love to have you on the show live, and I would love to have a conversation. As a Chicano, I grew up very whitewashed. I didn't grow up with my cousins and my family and their families in East LA or in where we were originally born, south side of Phoenix, right? My mom had our opportunities, and I grew up in a very nice part of town. And so I get a lot of this, who the fuck am I growing up? which is why I dove, and we talked about earlier tonight about our imagination, because I was so different than a lot of my friends in school, man. I just was. And I was kind of like this different type of, Chicano kid, because I was a theater guy, I liked poetry, and I wore a beret, I was a little weirdo. So,
Well, and I remember Mike saying similar
mhm,
things too, right? Like
mhm,
growing
yep.
up around a lot of white kids. And that's another thing that some of these people don't realize is how cross-cultural a lot of people are now.
It's a unique American experience what Nicholas is writing about here, and I really appreciate this, and I love the fact that these guys, these writers, are writing sci-fi. I have not read this gentleman's work. I've just read this blog. I've already have subscribed to it, and if I don't know if we have Sander, Lord Haster. Can you get a link to let me put the link. Let me see if we can get that link to let me finish reading. Okay. Throughout 2021, I workshop my Chicano sci-fi horror novel, The Deading, at the University of Riverside Palm Desert. And he goes on to say who he's worked with. They've both been a huge help in restructuring its many moving parts. The Chicano birder in the story, someone might say, is a multiverse reflection of myself had I been fully brown. See, this guy is half. This guy's. I take it. This guy is like actually half white and half Chicano, right? Um, had I been a teen nature lover in a near future where climate change and alien forces created a vengeful ocean spirit, and this is what I really love, Tom. This is what's special about sci-fi. You can imagine whatever you want. You can really take yourself out there into space, into the future, into disrealities, bizarre technologies, and strange time warps where multiple yous might exist. And you can explore as many selves as you want, identities connected with humanity, and Chicanismo that no one could dream up but you. It's all candy coated as science fiction, as a tech dream in motion, and it doesn't even have to be you. It can be about anybody. Tom, you got anything to say about that?
No, it sounds like this is a very interesting story. And
Yeah.
I mean, as a character, is it really that important if they're Chicano or not? I mean, I know, yes, in the grand scheme it is. But I mean, overall, does that mean that somebody who is not shouldn't
Mhm.
be able to get into the story? That's my main question, I guess.
Yeah, I would say it's a great question, because I would say that's the double duty of the writer. Because once we say, okay, this is a Chicano thing, you're not just writing though for Chicanos. You got to write for everybody, because you want everyone to get this. You want everyone to enjoy this. So that's up to the writer, right? So once you get it, you need to connect, sort of like,
Right.
like the La Bamba or the Blood in Blood Out. When it's more identity, when the identity is infused in such a fascinating story, it's all inviting. And there's nothing about, at least for me, in what I love, you know the story should never be about putting down another person's culture or whatever like that. So I don't know if that answered the question or not. um
No, no. Well, yes, but I mean, no, I agree with you in the sense that there's no reason to put down any culture for that matter if you're creating anything.
this little Mesoamerican period shaped drone in my story, Sky Seekers, is Chicano futurism in motion, one of the strange technologies of a particular brown culture, my culture, and one that with multiple genders and the possibility of sentience. I imagine she, it, they, simplicity and complexity woven together like the imagined ghosts of my ancestral past. We don't know them, but we do know them. We inherit their memories, their forms, their art, their mannerism. We Chicanos have the power to build our brown world and universes fueled by these hidden Chicano because you're Chicano experiences that we can't see but know exist. We don't have to speak Spanish either. It's like the anthology editors say, the title sums up the underlying roots of this collection. It takes Spanish, Nahuatl, English, and tells the whole tale. Hey, it's dual ethnic, and I know out of 3. That ain't bad. He's talking about English. The editor also says, as you read from story to story, if you're Mexican American, Chicano, you'll find yourself in space, physically, mentally, or emotionally. But it's you there. But it is you there, not an other or version of who others think we are. Sci-fi is the perfect place to explore the relevance of Chicanismo to literature, to the future, and to the destiny that awaits all of us. We don't have to be grown up in. We don't all have to grow up in the Chicano movement. We all have been rallying, or have been rallying at marches down city streets. Though it helps for sure if you do have some of those experiences to throw into interstellar theaters, but you don't have to. We don't have to. We just have to be, and whatever that is, no matter how you see yourself, if you're writing Chicano sci-fi, you're Chicano because you're Chicano. Because you're Chicano, then you're one of us. And that is Because You're Chicano, Some Thoughts on Futurism, and the first all Chicano sci-fi anthology. Nicholas Belardes, I gotta have you on the show, man. Nick, are you there? Are you in the chat still? Let me know. Great blog here. There's a couple things I want to bring up, Tom.
Okay, so like I kind of misinterpreted what this was all about a little bit before, but go ahead.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I had said earlier, guys. That there's two things, right? There's two requisites, at least in my book, of what being a Chicano is. One is that you're born in America. You're not born anywhere else. Two is
out there.
Sounds self-limited. Oh, listen, they tell a writer to write what they know, right? And usually most writers always write about where they're from. The first thing, like like where they're from, who they are. Now, when that has always been in flux and in question by themselves because they're not quite American, they're definitely not Mexican. That is a Chicano experience that has been going on for decades, Darth. And I get what Nicholas is saying. At this age, I'm 51. I know I am totally secure in my Chicanismo and being an American. It's like, for me, it's like I say that's the same as being a Southerner, being Cajun, being a New Yorker. This is our part of where we come from America, and that's it. All right. Let me see. So Latino can be from Latin America who have. Oh yeah. Oh, they're schooling Tim on what? Nice, man. So thank you for that, Nicholas, and hopefully we didn't scare you off too much, and you'll come on the show. He was there earlier commenting, but hey, great job. Award seasons, the Academy Awards, and this is the last thing we'll talk about, is they did this fan favorite drive. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, the People's Choice Oscar.
Dude,
what's winning still? That
let me find out. But I can tell you what was winning but was ineligible is the Snyderverse, Justice League.
Oh yeah, because it didn't release in theaters. Yeah,
because it was.
But I can't believe Spider-Man wasn't that high up to I don't know. I wrote in Ghostbusters Afterlife. Not that it's going to win anything, but
Oscar fan favorite poll. Oh, they have an official site. Oh my god. Oh, here. You know what? I haven't. Here, let's bring this up. Oscar fan favorite. All right. Movie lovers unite. Make your voice heard this Oscar season by voting in this year's fan favorite for a chance to win a trip to the Oscars. Sounds horrible.
You got to get poked and have 2 negative thingies.
Right. But they're not going to give the movie an actual award. That's why, but there are requirements for an online competition, right? Let me vote here. Let me vote. Win a trip to. I'm going to vote.
Type in Tango Shalom.
Okay. I should
No,
type in
pick
Blood
whatever
in,
your
Blood Out.
favorite movie is. Oh, that's not eligible.
Oh, Tango Shalom. Wait a minute. I want to get my name. What? Latino.
Yeah, do that shit offline. Yeah. There you go.
Well, there you go. There you go. We're good at this.
Okay.
Accept. I know, right? Okay. That's it. Don't I get to see some shit?
Nope, you just voted for Tango Shalom. Somebody had it online though, where they had the actual poll.
Where's the poll at? Anyone? Oh, this is bullshit. Damn it.
Because Spider-Man wasn't even winning.
Okay, here's official rules. God, I can't believe
Nah,
it.
it was on their Twitter, I think. Here, let me look.
I can't. I don't even want to look at the official rules. This is garbage. Damn it, I voted for it.
Use a VPN, vote again, and again, and again.
Oscars are dead. I couldn't be happier. They haven't been relevant this millennium. I don't think you're wrong. You know, thanks, Tom and Polly, although I'm going to be an artist and producer for the stories I'm making. As for a writer, not really. Yeah, man. Well, so you're saying that you're going to hire someone to write some stories for you? I mean, I think that's smart. I think that's smart. If you're a producer, know your strengths.
I'm not finding it here. They posted so much stuff.
Let me see if anyone has that info. Hit me up on Twitter. But yeah,
here's the
you know,
thing, but it doesn't say what movie. I found the one thing on their Twitter, but it's not the one that says what's winning or whatever.
let me see.
But anyhow, you were saying what was your whole big deal about this whole thing, other than because you can actually do it on Twitter too. You don't have to do it from the website, but you got to do a bunch of shit to do it on Twitter.
Well, I just wanted to find that. Well, I think the main joke of it all is you're having a fan favorite online drive, right? For fans. And yet, one of the greatest fan movements in years happened with the Justice League. That's like, to me, a no-brainer. And it's not a real award. This is not a real award.
Right.
That's why I'm like, wait a minute, what? They can't even get that right.
I get what you're saying here, because like if you're going to allow other movies that were released on streaming to be allowed, then so should the Snyder Cut probably. I mean, it's a fair deal. But no, I totally get what you're saying. I'm not so sure it would still win, even if it could be. But
well, it looks like the Cinderella.
Oh, Cinderella, that's the one. Yeah, the Cinderella one was supposedly the top voted one. I don't buy it.
Well, I think it makes sense just because Camila is like so huge, bro.
Whatever. Everybody wants Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, her fans, they tell, all she's got to do is do one tweet and,
All right.
Hey, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying.
No, I believe you. I don't
try.
get into this social media shit, so.
Yeah, I think so. I'm just pointing out that one is just stupid.
Yeah.
It's just stupid, man.
Oh, they're grasping for straws at this point when it comes to this.
Right. And they can't even get that right. I think at one point one of the fan favorites was the Johnny Depp movie, which I think would be cool if Johnny
That'd
Depp
be
won.
hilarious.
Imagine him going up there. That would be good. Let me see.
Well, like you said, they don't get any kind of like even special award or nothing.
2 days ago. I got one from 2 days ago. Justice League uses fans of Army of Dead loophole to get Oscar recognition for Zack Snyder. Okay. I mean, I think it just goes to what
Go
everyone's
for
saying.
it.
Yeah. I think it goes to what everyone's saying in the chat, that with that and then the industry's treatment of, for me, their treatment of In the Heights and vaulting West Side Story up and a remake of a remake, it's like I'm just done. I'm just done. Like,
Yeah.
and I used to be a hardcore Oscar watcher when I was growing up as a kid.
Well, same here. It used to be my, I'm not being a big sports fan. I mean, I like sports, don't get me wrong, but the Oscars were kind of like my Super Bowl. So, like, I totally get that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the last time I was really, really excited was when Return of the King won.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's been a while since I've been really excited for it. But yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, in the chat. Yeah, you had something to say?
No, I just say, yeah, let's go. Let's get her done.
Get her done. We're gonna wrap it up. I want to thank everyone for your chats, your comments. It's been wonderful, and it's good to be back on a normal night. We have new videos up all the time. You know what? We found that Spanish. We found that Spanish video.
Oh yeah.
The influencers.
Oh yeah. Okay, I can't wait to hear what you guys say about that.
Well, we're gonna record tomorrow because it's pretty cool. Michael Gonzalez, why not two science fictionists, two prestigious awards? There are the Hugos and the Nebulas. One is industry, the other popular. Both give awards though. Yeah, there's some award. There's some award. Committees, societies that actually get it right, but not the big ones. Not for a long ass time. Polly, just because you don't see me in the chant doesn't mean sometimes I ain't watching. Okay.
In the chant.
In the chant. Did I say that? Chant.
No, he wrote it.
Oh, okay. When was the last time the Best Picture movie was worth watching? Well, let's look that up. Best Picture winners. Which one?
The Departed. Because Wolf of Wall Street didn't win, I don't think. I couldn't tell you what the last 5 Best Picture winners were besides Parasite or whatever that one was, and Chloe Zhao's movie last year.
I still haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Is it any good?
I haven't seen it. I have no time to watch nothing, dude.
Narcos.
I finally did. And I had to watch the last 3 episodes in 1.5 times speed on the computer so I could get on the show. That's what took me so long to get on the show.
Oh, man.
I'm like, I might have enough time to squeeze these in.
Oh, okay. Here we go. All right, let's let me bring this up. You got a couple minutes?
Yeah, if you give me two seconds, I gotta go stir my dinner.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, what are you making, man? Damn, I'm hungry. Okay, we'll bring this up as we wait for Tom. And we'll make sure we're saying hello to everyone in the chat. Clobbering Times is here. I love it. Return of the King, Polly. Yeah. We're going to go through these. Parasite was good. Wasn't great. It was good. We had a good time in the theater. We were kind of like, surprised how good it was. Later all. Great stream, Polly. Jacob, thank you, man. Hey guys, do me a favor. Always make sure you're actually subscribed and you're getting alerts to the Slant. That'd be great. Parasite was worthy, but excited. Yeah. A Gladiator was 20 years ago, man. Gladiator was 20 years ago. Believe that? Okay, so. And don't forget March 9th, guys. Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter Gustavo Galindo is going to be with us live. And his music's amazing. There's a link to Gustavo's music in the video description. All right. Let's check this out. Full list of Oscars Best Picture winners. 2020 Parasite. Okay, let's do this. What should we like? How would we rate these? Yay or nay? Like, I guess like excitement level, right? Excitement level 1 to 10. Parasite. Go. 1 to 10. Parasite. Excitement level.
All right, I'm back. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. We're just fiddling around here.
Yeah, Birdman was okay.
Green Book. God, that was horrible.
Yeah, it was all right.
That was lame, dude.
King's Speech was okay.
Shape of Water is good. Never saw Moonlight.
Never saw Shape of Water, actually. I'll tell you what the Shape of Water is. Whatever container it's in.
Oh, God.
Argo is pretty good, though.
Okay.
Argo, fuck yourself.
Haster loved Parasite. Okay, give me an excitement level, but connected to the movie, like 10 for Argo, like of the last 20 years. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you got the last 10 here up on screen right now.
Right. So we have Hurt Locker, King's Speech, The Artist, Argo, 12 Years a Slave, Birdman, Spotlight, Moonlight, Shape of Water, Green Book, Parasite.
I'd actually have to go with Birdman of all those.
I was gonna say that's my favorite of these 10. That's a great film.
It was, yeah.
And then Argo, and then King's Speech.
Yeah, probably that order. You're right.
Mm-hmm. Shape of Water is pretty good. But now we go to 10 years before. Okay.
A little bit better.
Slumdog.
Clear
No
winner,
Country.
though.
What's that?
Clear winner is Return of the King for me, though.
Gladiator over Gladiator?
Yeah. I'm not as big of a Gladiator fan as you'd think.
American Beauty, Gladiator, Beautiful Mind, Chicago, Lord of the Rings, $1 Million Baby. Crash got a lot of shit for winning. Departed, No Country for Old Men, Slumdog.
That'd probably be my second choice is No Country, then American Beauty.
I would go Lord of the Rings.
Gladiator. But I'm...
Yeah.
Well, I forgot about The Departed. The Departed would be my number one. Which, well, it's a tie for me. The Return of the King and Departed are so goddamn good.
Yeah. I'll tell you... I mean, these are pretty good movies, man. These are better than the last 10 years. That's for sure.
Well, this is the era between the Weinstein and now.
Slumdog 9 for Michael. Gladiator. I would have picked Once Upon a Time in Hollywood over Parasite. I think you're right.
Yes.
I think you're right. That was a great film in the theater. Oh my God.
Let's be real. Tarantino got robbed that year.
Yeah, they don't like him. Fucking Oscars. The Academy. Hello. The Academy.
Never
Return of the King was the last time I cared. Clobbering. Yeah.
I did love The Departed.
Love The Departed. The Departed. Pop culture curator. Hey everyone. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, we got Douglas Nelson in the house too.
For $5, member of the channel. Once an award, Oscar, Grammy, etc., has lost credibility, it is ever possible for it to get it back? Is it ever possible for it to get it back? Boy, that's a lot of work. What do you think, Tom?
Well, it depends on what kind of credibility we're talking about.
Well, for me and you to go back to, like, it would have been a decent step if fucking Spider-Man and In the Heights were nominated, man.
I mean, but I
Spider-Man
don't
for
also.
sure.
Well, that's the thing is, well, honestly, I would never expect Spider-Man to get nominated. Like, I'm so conditioned to the idea of what an Oscar film is that I have a hard time. I mean, looking at this list now, especially the early aughts.
Yeah.
It's like, why shouldn't some of these movies be nominated? They are technically better than a lot of the crap we got out there now. I mean.
Well, let's go 10 years.
Well, this is the year of the Weinsteins, if you want to go prior. Right?
Let's go prior.
Yeah.
Let's
so, I mean,
go,
there's some good stuff here, though, but.
Let's go 90. Driving Miss Daisy. Oh, God. That was like the last of the, like the old schoolers voting for shit. Dance with Wolves, Silence of the Lambs, Unforgiven, Schindler's List, Forrest Gump.
Now, that year,
Braveheart.
95 is a year of point of contention because not only did Forrest Gump beat Pulp Fiction, it also beat Shawshank Redemption that year.
English Patient, Titanic, Shakespeare in Love.
English Patient, 0.
That's ground zero right there.
Then you got Shakespeare in Love. That was the next year. People are like, what
and American
the
Beauty.
fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. But see, Titanic was probably their biggest
Titanic was a
ratings because of all the
you almost had to give it to Titanic because it was the biggest film of all time, period.
Of all time. Right.
And not just because of box office, but I mean the amount it cost to make, the amount of work that went into it, all that shit. Like, it was kind of like Return to the King. It's like you almost have to.
I mean, but these are some of my favorite films. Braveheart, Unforgiven, Silence, Dances. So I don't know, Douglas. I don't know what it's going to have to take, man.
Well, I think a bigger problem here goes back to what we were just talking about before. There's no original IPs or anything like that nowadays. So everything is comic book movie, revival movie, what have you. We don't get a Dances with Wolves. We don't get a Silence of the Lambs. We don't get an Unforgiven. We don't get a Schindler's List. We don't get a Forrest Gump. When's the last time we had a movie even like Titanic?
They don't know how to make sweeping epics like that.
No,
I
that's
mean,
what I'm saying.
Spider-Man was pretty sweeping. And Spider-Man was...
That's the equivalent now. So I do understand the argument that, Spider-Man No Way Home should be up for a fucking
That's what I'm trying to tell
Oscar.
you. It should have been in there, man. It had a lot of everything. You can argue that Tom Holland and Zendaya are like that couple for the young kids, as Leo and Kate was for the young kids in the 90s. Mexican Iron Man for $4.99, a member of the channel. Gladiator is like the bestest ever movie ever. Tom, you doth broketh my taco heart.
Do you have that in 4K, Mike? I'll send it to you if you don't.
And I want to thank Douglas and Mexican Iron Broken Taco Heart. This is
I still love the movie, I like the movie all right, just fine, but
yeah. Let's give you a little oh, you know what? Let's give you some dancing Mexicans. Be right back.
That shit takes some precision. Did you see how close her head was to the fucking ground?
Dude, that guy's a boss.
Right? He could have knocked her ass out silly.
Dude.
That was impressive. That was impressive.
Yes, those Mexicans know how to manhandle each other. It's in their Aztec blood.
Well, I think it helps that aren't like she's like what 4 foot something.
It doesn't matter, man. He's not that tall. I mean, like,
True. Good point. Good point. Touche.
it would be one thing if he was really tall and she's like real little. Nope,
Touche.
not in 4K. I have the Amazon online copy.
What about Braveheart? Because I think there's a 2-pack with Braveheart and Gladiator on 4K.
Shots fired. Shawshank is better than Pulp Fiction and Forrest Gump.
I agree. And that's the thing. That year was a tough fucking year, but it's like you have all these choices and you picked Forrest fucking Gump over Pulp Fiction or Shawshank. Like anybody would have been just as happy, I think, with Shawshank or Pulp Fiction winning, right?
Yeah.
Because Shawshank is clearly the best of the films of the year as far as like story, acting, all that business. Pulp Fiction was a phenomenon, and we had never seen anything like that before.
Nope, absolutely right.
Forrest Gump, it had some really cool special effects, but it was really just the next level after Jurassic Park. I love Robert Zemeckis, don't get me wrong, but it's like his fourth. It's like his fourth or fifth best movie at best.
The storytelling was really good.
Back to the Future, Roger Rabbit, still better films than Forrest Gump. I'm sorry.
All right. I mean, listen, like you said, it was a very tough year that year. It was incredible talent, and then what are the best picture nominees for this year? I'm gonna bring those.
You are such a liar, Clobby.
What happened?
He's like, I'm still glad Forrest won.
He's a Southern guy, so that's probably why.
My mom always said, clobbering times was like a box of chocolates. He's fucking
up. Yeah.
Some have nuts in them. Some have cream. Some have cocoa nuts. What's a cocoa nut?
But but his isms, his sayings were just like.
Oh no! Don't get me wrong.
People were saying them for forever.
To me, Forrest Gump was more of a mainstream movie. It didn't to me, like when it got nominated, I just kind of scratched my head. I'm just kind of like, it is such like it's the type of movie that they usually make fun of in movies when you talk about Oscar bait, right? Like it is almost a parody of the type of, it is literally almost a parody of the type of movies that usually get Oscars, right? So like I was still kind of off that one, but I mean anyway. But Clobby does agree that Back to the Future and Roger Rabbit are better Zemeckis films. Thank you for that.
Okay, we're on the official.
But Forrest could run.
Oh, I did? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, you did. He gave you 2 super chats. Scroll back up, my friend.
I am. But wait, Nate knows reviews is here. And he knows reviews because he's Nate. And he's Nate. Oscars are a joke now. It's all about politics and not about the films. And under its current new diverse rules, Parasite wouldn't be eligible because they're all Korean. It's laughable.
I agree with you. The first part has always been true, though. Yeah. Outside of maybe like way back when it was all about just getting drunk and wearing a fancy dress.
Dude, that was a badass movie.
Titanic, I remember being a controversial year too. Now that you mention it,
Mexican Iron, Broken Taco Man, Hearted, Broken Taco Heart, for $4.99, valued member of the channel. What does it mean? The Weinstein era, like, did he literally buy the show or certain awards or both? Or
you're not far off there, Mike. Basically, that's why I call it English Patient Zero, because it was from that moment on. Weinstein was so worried about winning Oscars and nothing else. So that was where it kind of became Dimension and Miramax were the company that Harvey would make the big Oscar pictures that made no money, and his brother would make all the little horror and action sci-fi movies that made all the money but didn't cost anything, but never got any prestige.
Yeah.
But like, so like after that you had The one that really kind of bothered people was Shakespeare in Love.
Ugh.
There is absolutely no
Ugh.
reason that movie should have won Best Picture. That was where everybody was pretty much convinced that Harvey bought out the Oscars.
Mr. Tickletrunk has to leave us. Good night.
Take care, Mr. T.
Okay, here we go. So thank you for that, Mexican Iron. Thank you everyone for the super chats. Here's your Best Picture nominees for this year.
I do want to see Nightmare Alley. I've seen Dune.
Yeah, I mean, I love Nightmare Alley.
That's
I have not seen Don't Look Up.
That's the one I'm kind of like teetering on because
yeah,
everybody who said it's either great or it's not, and then Andre said it's fucking horrible and he hated it.
Dune, which is amazing.
That's my choice. That's my choice right now, but I haven't seen the rest. So
Drive My Car. I have no idea. I heard it's good. Belfast, I tried to watch it and I fell asleep, so that's not good.
Belfast seems to be their little darling though this year, but we'll see.
Licorice Pizza, which again I hear is good. Power of the Dog. That thing was so depressing, man.
That's the one I heard about. That's kind of controversial, right?
Well, it's like
it's kind of it's about diddling a bit, or a diddler, I should say, or something like that.
No,
is that the one I'm thinking of, or is it a different one?
No, it's a different one. It's gay cowboys.
Oh, okay. This is a gay cowboy one. Gotcha.
Yeah. West Side Story, King Richard, Coda.
It's pretty sad. We've really gotten to the point where you have multiple gay cowboy movies now.
Why is that sad?
I don't know. It's just like you think one would be enough.
Oh my God.
The rest would be porn.
Well, this one's a lot different because these were cowboys in the 1800s or 1925 or something. So
I can't quit you.
So Benedict Cumberbatch's character is so repressed that he's.
You know what's sad though? Of all these though, Dune is my choice, but I wouldn't even pick Dune as my favorite film of the year.
I mean, okay. All right. I'm gonna think like a. I'm gonna think.
You're gonna pick Nightmare Alley.
No. I'm gonna think like an Academy member.
Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna tell you who's gonna win right now.
Let's hear your side of it.
Best Picture of the year is gonna go to. Fuck. Okay, it's a toss-up between The Power of the Dog and West Side Story.
I think those are good choices, and you're probably more right on because you kind of have your pulse a little closer to that stuff. I'm going to go with you, but I'm going to say West Side Story ain't going to make the cut.
Oh, dude,
I'm going to say it's going to be between King Richard and Power of the Dog.
I haven't seen. I hear
Don't
King
Look
Richard.
Up could be an upset just because of the whole anti-Trump movement of it. But go ahead, sorry, you were going to say something.
Well, the thing is that the thing is The Power of the Dog has two big wocosos going for it, right?
Right.
Female director and gay theme.
Well, once you told me that, yeah.
Right, and it's actually a really well done film. It's just very depressing, but the acting is real.
What's sad is we could make a movie right now that could manipulate the fuck out of the Oscars, right? And probably actually get nominated in almost any category, and it would just be purely everything that would be in it would be all about what is it going to take to win that Oscar,
right? And based on that, Nightmare Alley is like such a throwback.
Right. Like half these movies wouldn't even be on the screen, but King Richard's a good example of what would be there. Power of the Dog would still probably be there. That's what I'm getting at, right?
Yeah. And Don't Look Up.
You would probably still be there, although there's probably not enough black people in Don't Look Up.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Coda
would be there because Coda is like the sign, the deaf girl.
Oh, that's a typical, usually have something like that. Yeah.
Right. What won't be there is Dune, Nightmare Alley, Belfast.
I'm actually surprised Dune got nominated.
Well, it got a lot of nominations.
I'm very surprised, and it's all because of how. Well, it's the technical aspect of it, right? That's why it's getting all these award nominations. It ain't gonna win.
It ain't gonna win.
It'll
shit.
win a couple of the effects awards, and that's it.
It probably won't even win that. Deleted scenes for $5. Slantino. I've only seen Dune, Belfast, King Richard, and West Side Story. The Power of the Dog will win because it's that kind of movie the Academy likes.
Exactly. That's what I was just saying. We could manufacture a movie
Mm-hmm.
that literally is everything that'll just get their attention.
And like I said, the acting is superb. The actors, Benedict, Jesse Plemons, Kirsten Dunst, and then Kirsten Dunst's son, which is the gay son. I mean, he's weird, but he's good. It's just a depressing story. And then Jane Campion is like, oh, what do you call it? Toxic masculinity, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh my God. Okay.
He would know.
Yeah. So yeah. But I mean, 10 nominations, right? You couldn't put Spider-Man in there. You couldn't give Spider-Man any respect. I agree.
Oh, Godzilla and Kong. Yeah, that's true.
Nate knows reviews. I'm calling it right now. The Academy will pick King Richard because Will Smith and his family are the progressive versions of a new normal family. Ooh.
Nate, that was one of the reasons why I kind of gravitated towards it too, just because of it is that typical Oscar bait shit. Yeah.
I mean, of all these movies as well, there's not a real heavy African-American movie.
Right. And I can tell you right now what's not going to win, right? Like that's an easier answer up front. Nightmare Alley, not going to win.
Right.
Dune, not going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Drive My Car, not so sure. Belfast, probably not going to win.
No.
Licorice Pizza, not a chance in hell. Power of the Dog, probably. West Side Story, no. It's a gimme Oscar for Spielberg. It's just a nomination. It's not going to win shit. King Richard, maybe. Coda, maybe. I don't know much about Coda, but after what you told me, probably. But if I had to zero in on one of them, it's still between Power of the Dog and King Richard, but you could be right as well.
Well, let's thank Deleted Scenes and Mexican Iron Man for those tips. Here you go.
Ba ba bamba. Ba ba bamba. The Batman. The Batman.
Wow. All right, man.
I love La Bamba. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, it was a great show. I thank you guys so much.
Teach you guys a song. Okay, go shake it up, baby, now.
Get on, baby.
Twist and shout.
Bam, ba, bam,
No,
ba.
no, not La Bamba. No. Wait. It is La Bamba.
That was Born in East LA, man.
I love that. I love that bit because they are the same fucking three chords.
Yeah, we gotta get going on that one.
Oh shit, that's my dick. That's a toothpick. Man, I hope your dick's bigger than this.
In this, man.
Man, thank you for a toothpick.
It is a toothpick, man. No, that's my dick.
No, man, it's a joint. Oh wait, no, it is a toothpick, man.
I saw it in the theater a lot.
Oh, I never got a chance to see it in the theater, but